the thing that happened for me, and people ask me this all the time, they go like, what was the defining factor? What changed? And it's so funny and it sounds so cliche because you hear it a lot now. But the fact is that I did just decide to raise my standard of myself, my expectation. And the whole thing was, right, like I'm sitting in prison, I'm facing 10 to 15 years for a crime that I did not do. And it was like, you know, at what point does enough become enough?
Exactly.
At what point does, you know, and for me, this was my moment, right? And for you listening and you watching, like you're going to have your own moment, right? Because I know that every single person I've ever fucking spoken to has got areas of their life that they're not as satisfied as I'd like to be. They're not as happy as I'd like to be. They've got areas of their life that aren't at the standard where they want it to be. And like, the thing is, like, we've all got this area where we're like, you know what, fuck, I'm not happy with this, but it's always the same, right? And, you know, to parrot Tony Robbins, right, he said it, I heard this years ago and it stuck with me ever since I heard him say it. You know, he goes, change happens instantly, right? The thing that takes a while to change is you getting yourself to that point where you've had enough.
Yeah.
And like, you know, it's funny, how much is enough? Well, every single person I think has a different threshold called the action threshold. The point where they go, you know what, this is it, I'm going to change things, right? And for me, like I'd increased the temperature in the pot quite a lot before I got to the point where I'm like, you know what, fuck Toddy, maybe enough's enough, mate. I'm sitting in prison, I'm about to lose all of my life. And for me, that was massive, it was dramatic. And that was the thing that made me say, you know what, maybe I should stop proving all these people right. Yep. Maybe I should stop living up to other people's expectations. Maybe I should stop being a fucking fool, take some responsibility in my life, and actually get out there and fix it.
Yep.
And like that was the decision, right? That was the moment where I was like, this is my new standard. I'm now no longer going to be that person anymore. And that's what change is all about, right? Like we get to a point where it's like, that's it. I'm going to change things. And like maybe that point for you was walking into the doctor's office and the doctor saying, if you don't change your eating habits, you will die in 6 months. You know, maybe that point for you was, you know, your kids turning around and saying, you know, some outlandish thing or, you know, there's something that highlighted, holy shit, maybe I'm not doing this parenting thing as well as I could. Yeah. You know, maybe that thing for you was walking out to work one day and the boss saying, guess what? If you don't clean your act up, you're gone. Like, what is the thing that's enough for you? What's that point where enough is enough? That's the question.